I've not been doing this thing for quite some time because it wasn't important, but I think it's important now that this season I do my prediction because I also have, if you go back to this channel, the first video was about, predicting the games. We were like, we wanted to make millionaires. Now, what if because I've gotten a lot of experience with Premier League, and I think Premier League only is among the only few leagues that people don't usually, you know, are they called the game? What are they called? The game something game. Those people, the middleman, the game. I've forgotten it. I used to bet. I used to do a lot of casino, a lot of stuff, a lot of, right now I've left it because as you grow older, your risk, you reduce the amount of risks you are willing to take with your cash. So today evening we have Chelsea versus West Ham, and I think West Ham, as I've always said, I've said it in my I think I'm repeating it myself. I'm repeating myself too many times. I think West Ham is a candidate for relegation, and I don't think Chelsea are willing to give them the points today. So that will be Chelsea. Then tomorrow, early kickoff, we'll have Man City versus Spurs, and I think that's a huge game because Man City have shown they're coming back, but then Spurs, the way they played against Arsenal, the way they played against PSG, the way they played against, what's the team last week? Was it Burnley? They have shown they can always, bring the heat. But then it's Etihad, Man City is, whenever Spurs meets a huge team in a very important game, they always, I don't know if this new coach will be able to just instill the confidence in the players, saying that, it's Man City, but they're not that good. But as currently, I think Man City will win. We'll just edge them a little. It will be very close. It might be 3-2. It might be 2-1. It might be, I don't think it will be 1-0 because they'll be scoring. But then, if you're going for that, I don't think it's a good game to bet on who will win because it's very close. But you might go over or something. And then Bournemouth versus Wolves. Wolves is another team that is in contention for, relegation. And then Bournemouth, even though they were defeated in Liverpool 4-2 last week, I think they're a good team, and I think they're going to win this game. So Bournemouth always. And then Burnley versus Sunderland. Sunderland is owned by a 20-something billionaire who has been buying people. They're following that Nottingham Forest script of coming into Premier League and then just purchasing everybody, trying to get different solution. And I think that's what allowed them to win the previous game 3-0. And I think they're going also to win this game because Burnley is not that good. So Sunderland in this one. And then Brentford versus Aston Villa. Brentford have lost Nogard, they have lost Mbeumo, and Wisa is not playing again for them. Now, they'll not be easy to score, but then they're not going to score because their defense is nearly the same. Aston Villa, on the other hand, they're a good team. I think they drew last week. They're coming to win because they need to get the points. They need to get their position, the fifth or sixth position. Now, if I'm going to rate it, Brentford will be home. Aston Villa will be trying to win this game. But I just think this is one of the game where you think it's going to be 50-50. It will be a draw. Now, if you're betting, you go under because it might be a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw at best, or just Brentford will win one or Aston Villa will win one. Now, Arsenal versus Leeds. Leeds again is another contention for relegation. So Arsenal is going to win this game very, very, very easily. It's not even something that we need to discuss. And then Crystal Palace was Nottingham Forest. Now, This game, Crystal Palace are very hard to break. They have won the Community Shield, they won the FA, they drew with us, and you think they're a good team. But then Nottingham Forest won last week 3-1. This week I'm sure they're trying. They have Chris Wood, who's very good at headers, very good at scoring chances, which you think the XG was 0. Now, in this game, again, it's hard to score versus Crystal Palace. It's hard to score versus Nottingham Forest. It's a game where I think it might just end up 0-0. But then Crystal Palace drew. They don't want to draw again at home. But then at Nottingham Forest, they will not be trying to get those points because they got the 3 points. So if they are doing the drawing this week, it will still be good. So this one game, which is very, very, it just depends on which sides once they win. It might be Nottingham Forest, Nottingham Forest. It might be Crystal Palace. It might be. It's one of the game which is very, very hard to predict. But I think it may just end up as another draw. And then Everton versus Brighton, I'll go easily Brighton because Everton, even at home, they're another. Even last season, they were struggling, and I think the season they have just started again from preseason until now. They're just struggling to score. Now, I don't think they're going to score Brighton, which makes it easier to choose Brighton to win that game. Fulham versus Man United is another hard game. I think Man United right now are trying to get into the good graces because they lost the previous game. Now, Fulham is not a pushover. It's not a team that you will go to their home and just win easily. But I don't trust Man United. Even as much as they were playing so well in versus Arsenal, you just don't trust them. Especially for a team that usually depends on counter-attack. It's so hard for Man United to come, dominate, and win. Of course, they will dominate the way they dominated against Arsenal, but winning in Fulham, it will be huge ask for that team. So I'm not wrong. I'm going for Fulham. Fulham will win this game. It will take a little bit, probably 5 games, until Man United decides, you know what, we don't need to play this game. We just need to try and score because playing will always disadvantage them. And then Newcastle versus Liverpool. Now, in this game, you think both teams are good. Both teams have shown throughout the season, uh, the previous season, the preseason, and even in first week, they want this thing. They want to score. They want to win. Now Newcastle has a huge problem with Liverpool because of Isak, and I think that's what they're going to show. And they're at home, so Liverpool is going there, and I don't think this is war. This is not. I don't think this is just a normal game. This is going to be war. Newcastle are not going to be defeated. The worst they can get is a draw, but I'm so sure they're going to win that game. I have a lot of Liverpool supporters who usually come in my inbox and we usually talk, and they'll feel like I'm just hating. Yeah, probably I'm hating. I'm hating. I can't say I'm not hating, but I'm not biased with the prediction. I just think Newcastle are going to fight for this game, and this is how sometimes, not even just in professional football, whether in amateur football, whether in looking for money, sometimes you just look at the person who wants something the most and you bet on that thing. If it's horse racing, if it's fighting, if it's boxing, if it's, you just look at the person that wants this thing the most. And I think in this game, Newcastle really wants to beat Liverpool. They really want to. Especially the coach, Eddie Howe, the way he has been speaking. I think he will he hates Liverpool more than I do. So that's my prediction for this week. Anyway, subscribe. A nice day.